Here to talk more about the threat, Jamil Jaffer, the founder and executive director of the National Security Institute. Jamil, welcome. Nice to see you as always. How big of a threat does China pose in your mind?
You know, Marnie, it's hard to underestimate how big a threat China poses. They are not only engaged in significant theft of intellectual property that really undermines the U.S. economy, our technology innovation, and the like, but going beyond that, they're now putting in place capabilities in our critical infrastructure to take action if and when they decide to, or if we go to war, that would literally cause real world harm. And so the words the FBI director has chosen to use here, while we know the Chinese have been doing this for a while, the fact that he's gone out of his way to say this demonstrates that they are increasingly getting more engaged and deeper into our critical infrastructure, and that's the real worry.
So what are the expectations of the meetings and the hearings today and conversations happening between the U.S. and China on this matter?
Well, you know, I think that in a lot of ways, what the FBI director, General Nakasone from NSA, Jen Easterly from CISA, and the new cyber director, Harry Coker, are going to try to emphasize to the committee and the Hill is how big a threat this really is and how significant a problem it is for our nation. So the American people also understand that. Now, with respect to our conversation with China, you know, about a year and a half ago, the president laid out our 16 critical infrastructures sectors and said to the Chinese premier, if you go after these, we're going to have a real problem. Of course, that's a challenge because we already know they're already getting deep inside. The question now is, are they going to take that action? That's the big fear today.
Right. So what options does the U.S. have, do you expect, as a result of this discussion at this hour?
Well, you know, one thing that we've been doing, General Nakasone has been doing a lot of this, is getting sort of more active, what he would call forward engagement, active defense of the nation in the cyber domain. We need to do more of that. We need to continue to push back on China, make sure they feel the price for infiltrating our networks, and know that we have access to their networks as well, and that we're able to take action if they go against us. We'll do the same to them. They need to understand that capacity, that capability, and that requires us to get a little more aggressive in this space and not sort of hold back our punches. That's, I think, what's likely to happen going forward as the Chinese demonstrate their aggressiveness as well.
What sectors do you believe are most vulnerable to a Chinese cyber attack?
Our intelligence community.
Well, the ones they're most focused on are our energy sector, our financial sector, those critical water, the critical infrastructures that we rely upon for our economy and for our livelihoods. Now, those are amongst the best defended as well, because the energy and financial sector companies in particular know about the threat. They've been working on it for years. They're closely coordinating with the government. What we really need now, though, is for additional sectors to come together, work more collaboratively with the government. That requires the government to not impose regulations, but work in a collaborative manner. There's a lot of that going on. Much more needs to happen. That's going to be the key. The government can't solve this problem. Neither can industry on its own.
Right, and everybody working together. Do we have advanced enough technology to combat China's threat, or are they beyond our capabilities?
You know, this is an area where AI plays an interesting role, because AI not only makes the attacker better, but it can make the defender dramatically better as well, because we can evolve our capabilities in response to the changing threat from the threat actors. So I actually think AI in all of its forms really has the capacity to up our game. The NSA is leading on that front, both NSA and Cyber Command as well. And working closely with U.S. law enforcement, we can really take the fight to the enemy. At the end of the day, what this is going to do, though, is we've got to deter this activity rather than stop it. The best way to deter it is to go on the offense and make it clear to the adversary that they will pay a price if they continue to come after us.
What's the message to the American public generally? What more can we be doing to take part in protecting ourselves from a cyber attack?
Well, you know, for the average American, the basic things, two-factor authentication, making sure you're not using simple passwords. Still today, too many of us fall prey to, you know, the normal clickbait in our email and the likes, that sort of scam, but also just not doing enough to secure our own systems. There are now lots of easy ways to do it. A lot of phones have built-in password, sort of databases that you can keep all your passwords in. They just have to have one strong password. Those basic things can really up our game nationally. And then at the end of the day, it's really about our companies and the government coming together to really solve this problem at a core level for the nation.
All right, we'll see what comes of today's meeting. Some simple steps we can even take at home that can make a big impact in the long run. Jamil Jaffer, thank you as always. Nice to see you.
Thanks, Marty.
The take